And I call the member for Fairfax.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And my question goes to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer update the House on how a strong economy allows the government to deliver services and lower costs of living for all Australians, including those in my electorate of Fairfax? And, Treasurer, how would a weaker economy, through higher taxes, put these outcomes at risk?
Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Fairfax for his question, because he is committed, like we are on this side of the House, to growing the economy, to creating more jobs, to bringing the budget back to surplus without increasing taxes, Mr Speaker. That is what we have done in creating new jobs and in growing the economy, and next year we'll bring the budget back into surplus. Now, that's good news for more than 21,000 small businesses across the electorate of Fairfax. And what we won't do is slug the hard-working people of Fairfax, like the more than 8,000 people in his electorate who use negative gearing with the new tax, Mr Speaker, more than 250,000 across Queensland. What we won't do is slug more than the 7,000 people in his electorate of Fairfax who currently are getting the benefits of franking credits, like the Labor Party will with their retirees tax, Mr Speaker. Now, today's national accounts saw the Australian economy continue to perform strongly. 2.8% GDP growth sees Australia's economy growing faster than the OECD average and growing faster than any G7 country except the United States, Mr Speaker. We've seen our AAA credit rating reaffirmed. We've seen unemployment come down to 5%. We've seen more than 1 million new jobs being created. We recently saw the wages price index increase by 2.3%, which is the biggest jump in 3 years, Mr Speaker. And the Reserve Bank Governor has said they'll continue to see a pick-up in wages growth, and this will be a welcome development. And the benefit of a strong economy is the record spending on health and education that is occurring on our watch, Mr Speaker. Now, opposite, they want to tax you from the cradle to the grave. And the most pernicious of taxes is the retirees' tax, including in the member for McMahon's electorate. Around 3,000 people will be affected, like Senka, who said that she and her husband have worked for 30 years. We've saved, we've scrimped, we've sacrificed to be self-sufficient financially and not be a burden on the welfare system. And they cannot believe what Labor is doing and now being proposed by their own shadow treasurer. Alan, in the Labor electorate of Richmond, will lose over $2,500 a year or $50 a week. Now, Alan wrote to the shadow treasurer and said of his response it was offensive and deliberately misleading, Mr Speaker. That is what a constituent in the electorate of Richmond said, Mr Speaker. And Jack from the electorate of Jagga, who said he works in a working-class suburb, whose wife is a nurse, he was a draftsman and will stand to lose significantly under Labor's policy. Mr Speaker, on this side of the House, we will grow the economy, we'll create new jobs and we will lower taxes, a stark contrast to those opposite.
The Treasurer's time has concluded. The member for McMahon.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker.